Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the tier 10 German battleship, the Grosser Kurfürst, and this is a match from the PTS where I'm trying out some of the new skills, but it's the first iteration of the PTS I believe, so they aren't that special, but in this match you'll see how potentially powerful secondaries can be. Anyways, this is a match on the map Trap, and it's not actually a full match, it's like a 9 against 9 or something like that. I spawned near the C cap and I went straight for it, because our plan seems to be to go for the B and C caps. Actually, surprisingly, our team is actually going for the B cap, like big ships are entering the cap zone. There are some enemies on this C cap, like this Zao, and I believe that's another Kurfürst, off from that. So I'm shooting at the Zao, and I want to make sure that I don't get within 8 kilometers of the Zao, because she has torpedoes, and you only have 8 kilometer range, which is a bit atypical compared to the normal Japanese cruiser line, because they generally have 10 kilometer torpedoes, and oh my god, that I just took 11,000 damage from the enemy Kurfürst salvo. That actually did hurt quite a bit. But because this isn't a full match and the enemy team is also going for the A cap, luckily there aren't that many enemies on the C cap, which is a bit unusual, but I guess it is what it is. Okay, so on the one hand, I would really like to shoot that Kurfürst hiding behind the island. On the other hand, I'm actually quite glad that I can't shoot him, because that also means he can't shoot me, and his secondaries would definitely be opening up on me right now, and that would mean that capping would be more difficult. Also, I think what's interesting about battleships on the new skill tree is that there are choices you have to make. Like, when people say things like, oh, this RPF thing is a huge thing for battleships, like they won't have to ever be afraid of destroyers again. Honestly, no, because battleships generally are not going to be taking the RPF skill, because they have enough need for, things for other skills, I guess. Because there's for instance, a Kurfürst or German battleships in general will most likely get the following skills. Advanced firing training, which is a 4-point skill, then manual secondaries, which is a 4-point skill, and then most likely fire prevention, which is also a 4-point skill. And you can't have more than 3 4-point skills, because the first tier skill is 1 point, second tier is 2 points, that's 3 total. Third tier is 3 points, that's 6 total. And 3 tier 4 skills is another 12 points, so that's a total of 18 points already. You can't have any more than that. And this essentially means that you are stuck in, if you want to go secondaries full on like you are currently, you aren't gonna gain all that much that you don't have right now. In fact, you're giving up some of the things, because basics of survivability on the current tree is a tier 1 skill. In the new tree, it's gonna be a tier 3 skill, which means that people aren't probably going to have it, because, they have to take it instead of superintendent. And basics of survivability gives a lot of a lot of fire resistance, because it's 15% less duration on fire, so that's like, I think it's like 9 seconds or so, which can be quite significant damage, especially if you add to it with the module and the flag, because that's minus 45%, that's like a pretty big deal. So overall, I would say that battleships just don't have the points, especially if they are German, since they do like their secondaries. And even if a battleship doesn't go for these secondaries, like maybe a Montana, you might want to go anti-air skills instead, like advanced firing training and manual anti-air, because those are also tier 4 skills, so you need the points for other things. Although I guess on the Montana you might be more likely to go for something like RPF if you don't want to go anti-air. On something like a Yamato, I'm not quite certain, because you might want to go, secondaries as well, because Yamato secondaries are actually pretty good. These have some AP, but that AP is actually fairly strong. And I mean, you also might want to go anti-air because you want to supplement your anti-air or lack of anti-air, or you know, it's not nearly as powerful. But obviously, you know, you might want to go RPF, but I'm not quite certain how much you really would gain from it anyway. So yeah, there are like many choices. Also, you could go something like fire prevention and then basics of survivability and superintendent, and you know, such a combination to have more general survivability against things. So you know, you have many choices as a battleship in the new tree, and that's actually really nice. I feel that if you compare it to something like a cruiser or a destroyer, those two classes have a lot less choice. Well, I mean, they have choice, but the skills are less important for them because the defensive skills aren't nearly as important for something like a cruiser or a destroyer than they are for a battleship, because, well, cruisers and destroyers just don't have the HP pool to get hit that much, so you kind of want to prevent that. Kind of want to prevent yourself from being hit in the first place, instead of, you know, trying to negate what happens if you do get hit. So you get things like Concealment Expert instead. But still, I really like the new tree. I would say if they took out RPF, they should try to replace it with something that's still quite powerful, because, well, considering the things that battleships gain from this, cruisers and destroyers might also want to gain something fairly powerful for them. Because remember, RPF is a skill you actually, you know, mostly take on destroyers and then secondly cruisers. So it's a benefit for them mostly. Well, sure, technically it benefits the whole team, it's just that the ships taking the skill are those. I do wonder though if, you know, RPF is going to provide some kind of experience boost in some way, because it definitely will help in scouting. And I'm not quite certain if there's a straightforward way on implementing it, because, I mean, it tells you that you're spotting something and you can actually pinpoint the target with it. However, you know, actually letting your team know and making it useful is something that definitely isn't going to give you experience, because it's just pinging on the map. So I don't know, I guess RPF is not going to give you any experience. But I do feel that, you know, if you're a destroyer and you take it and you provide your team with the information, that's really good information for his team. Anyways, I've been rambling on about the skill, etc. I don't really mind it that much. I mean, it might end up working out badly, but I don't think it's like a doom and gloom scenario like many people immediately jump to. And I really dislike when people do that. Like, I don't like it when people try to argue for a point with nonsensical arguments. Saying something like, it's a wall hack. It just rubs me the wrong way, because such an argument has no meaning, because it's a different type of game. Like, you have nameplates on top of people's heads when somebody else spots them for you. You're literally getting a wall hack built into the game, so calling something a wall hack as a skill that's going to be added to the game, it just feels like an emotional argument, and I really dislike when people rely on that, even if I were to actually, you know, agree with the result that I want to get. So I don't know. I just really dislike the reasoning people give. I don't really know if the skill would be good or bad, so I can't really say much about that, to be honest. At least not with much confidence. Also, I'm engaging a Bismarck and a Kurfürst here. So far, my secondaries have been going quite fine. Hopefully we'll be able to take out this Bismarck soon, but fighting German battleships is annoying, because your shells sometimes deal a lot of damage, other times they do like nothing at all. And there is none of this, oh, I just deleted the enemy battleship with a one well-placed salvo. Usually it's more like, you know, you need several, and while that happens, you take a billion damage from secondaries. Not because the secondaries themselves deal a lot of damage, but because they cause fires, and that's completely RNG, and Now it's time for a Kurfürst fight. I think one of the weaknesses of the Kurfürst is her firing angles on the back turrets, because they really aren't that great. You need to, you know, show your broadside quite a bit to actually use them properly. So the enemy Kurfürst is at 12,000 HP. I'm at 50,000. This should be fairly easy. I guess I'll make the Bismarck the focus and angle towards the Kurfürst. Okay, 4,000 HP on the Bismarck. Come on, Secondaries, finish it. I have 2 fires going, so I guess I'm gonna use damage control party in a moment. And I'm gonna heal. Okay, goodbye. And the Kurfürst is actually healing up. I'm not quite certain if I should show broadside. I think it's better if I don't. Because, you know, a well-placed salvo might just end me, so I'll just try to use my frontal guns. And not really aiming at the lower belt. That was 9,000 damage from 1 turret. Oh my god, he just got 2 fires from Secondaries. That's some bullshit RNG. 2 fires in Secondaries, like, instantly. That's some bullshit. And I think I'm gonna die here, actually, because I think the 2 fires are gonna finish me off. I really can't... Like, I don't have damage control party available or heal, so... I think I'm dead, unfortunately. Which is sad. It'll be 3 against 3. Maybe I can shoot this Neptune. Okay, it's a 4 against 3 against 2. And I died, but I think I did alright so far. That was still some bullshit RNG on the fires. Actually, I think it's gonna be a 2-on-2 in a moment, because this Kurfürst is also going to die. And it's an Iowa against an Izumo, and unfortunately they have the capstone advantage. That is, once this Kurfürst dies, the problem will be that they have collected more points, because they held 2 capstones for a longer period of time than we did, so... It'll be... I guess the Kurfürst is actually still fairly healthy, but it seems the enemy Kara is actually fairly competent, so... I don't quite know if we can... you know, rely on that. I do wish this Kurfürst stopped showing his broadside to the Iowa and tried to survive for as long as possible, but while there are the planes and sorry, but you have 12,000 HP. There is 0 chance that you will survive this. You should be turning right now to try to dodge the torpedoes, even if he wasn't before, but he appears to be completely well, not paying any attention to the actual carrier planes that are incoming. And nor was he paying any attention to where the Iowa was shooting him, so goodbye, Mr. Kurfürst. You had 0. Like, he didn't even try. He might have easily survived it, because he still had 12,000 HP, and, you know, it would take like 2 torpedoes to actually kill him, but he didn't seem to give any damns about trying to survive. But I guess it's PTS, so... random people will get tier 10s. It's alright though, we still have an Izumo, and he might be able to take the city cap. I do wish the Izumo went and hid behind the island there, and then just tried to cap and let the carrier do all the work. Maybe our midway will kill the Iowa while Izumo caps B, and then we achieve victory through... I don't know. Oh yeah, actually I take back what I was hoping for. Our carrier definitely is auto-dropping on this Iowa, and yeah, I don't know how much success he is gonna have with it. Not to mention that our carrier is at the edge of the map, while theirs is literally in the middle of the map, and almost in the cap zone, so... And because our Izumo is not actually trying to dodge, or, I mean, enemy shells in any fashion, or try to hide, he is... never going to get this cap zone because he is going to die. Because he's being an idiot. Yes, if he tried to hide, he still likely would have died, but maybe would have had a chance of taking the cap zone and then actually win the game, because once this Izumo dies, our chance of victory in this match is literally 0. Okay, I guess it's not literally 0. Our midway might get super lucky and like detonate the Iowa and wait, you can't actually detonate the midway, so I guess our chance of victory is still 0. Because even if the enemy Iowa dies, well, he would need to kill the midway too, which is like super unlikely in one strike, and there's only 3 minutes to go, and you don't have, you know, more than one strike in 3 minutes. Not to mention, you know, that's not going to happen anyway. But yeah, it's, this game's over. Oh well, whatever. It happens. Well played to the enemy midway, but I guess, you know, more props go to this Iowa that's actually anti-air spec, which is slightly surprising, but it's PTS after all. I mean, I'm not gonna say that anti-air spec Iowa is bad. No, it's actually really, really good. It's just that there aren't that many carriers, so people often don't do it. Anyways, the results of the match. 230,000 damage as Kurfürst, and I was number 1 in experience 2. Unfortunately, that wasn't really a very strong result. And, you know, most of my contribution was the 230,000 damage. 2.5 million potential damage taken, that's actually fairly okay. 151,000 damage taken, that's really good in my opinion. Like, that's, like, I tanked a lot of damage this game, but oh my god. Look at that, the secondaries did 87,000 damage. I mean, technically they did 41,000 and the fires did 46,000. But, well, all of my fires came from the secondaries, so those secondaries literally did 87,000 damage. That's an incredible amount, like a huge amount of damage, so maybe I shouldn't really complain about the amount of fire damage the enemy Kurfürst got, considering my own result. Regardless, if you like this video, then like it. If you dislike it, then dislike it. And I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon now. Thank you very much for your continued support, Active02, and I hope I see you guys next time.